Welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 13, Polynomial Division, Part 2, the practice problems. Okay, we need to write this as a product of linear factors. That means x to the first power. That means we need to divide it by x minus 4. If this is a factor, it should give us 0. If we don't get 0, we did something wrong, so please go back and check your math. Now, there's a problem with this one. We have an x cubed, we have an x, we have a constant. We don't have an x squared term. So what we're going to have to do is put in an x squared term. So we're going to plus 0x squared to keep place value minus 21x plus 20. We have to keep our place value. It's very important because x squared goes on top of x squared. X squared times x is x cubed. Multiplying here, multiplying there. X times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. Change both signs. First term cancels out. I'm left with 4x squared. I'm bringing down my 21x. What times x is 4x squared plus 4x is right over top of the x. I get 4x squared minus 16x. Then step 2, I change both signs. That comes 0. 21 minus 16 is negative 5x. Bring down my 20. What times x makes negative 5x? Negative 5. Negative 5x. Negative times negative is a positive 20. I change both signs, and I'm left with 0. Okay, good. Now we have one factor. Now we have to factor our polynomial. And luckily, we already did this one. One is positive, one is negative. X plus 5, x minus 1. We just did this in the practice problems. And your other factor is x minus 4. Now this is your answer, a product of linear factors. Okay, looking at this problem, we have to figure out x plus 9 is a factor. If it says x plus 9 is a factor, the answer should be 0. So something is wrong here. Where did the person go wrong? All right, x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 9 is 9x squared. Then you change both signs. This is where the mistake is, right there. So that means everything after this is wrong. So let's redo the division properly. All right, so x squared was correct. We get x cubed plus 9x squared. Change both signs. 7 minus 9 is negative 2x squared minus 26x. Okay. What times x is negative 2? Negative 2x, giving us negative 2x squared minus 18x. Change both signs. 26 minus 18 is 8. Take the sign of the larger number. Drop down your next term. What times 8? 8. Negative 8. Negative 8. Why? Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times 9 is negative 72. Change both signs. You get 0. Okay. X plus 9 is a factor. We got 0. Okay. Now, it does not ask us to write this as linear factors. So we just write x plus 9 times x squared minus 2x minus 8. The thing on top of the house, your quotient, is your other factor. This times this becomes the polynomial under the house. Okay, now when you have a standardized test, you put this in the calculator. Put y equals into the calculator. Push the y equals button. Put that into the calculator. You hit the xt theta n button to get x. Is next to the green button. Look for it in the top. Then you hit the caret, which is over the division symbol. You hit 4. You have to hit the right arrow to bring the caret back down. but 4s and 3s. To do an x squared, we hit the x squared button, which is left of the 7. And to get x in there, you have to hit xt theta n. You hit xt theta n, you hit the x squared button, that will give you x squared. Okay, so now we're given x minus 5. So we put this in the calculator, the expression like it's written. Then we hit second graph, and we should see the following answers. A, D, and E. So when you hit second graph, it's going to start off as 0. You had to scroll up to look for when the y value is 0. So what is the x when y equals 0? When 0 is in the y column, what's the x value? -1, no, -1, +2, and -4. We had to change the sign, so be careful with that, okay? When x equals a number in the calculator, you have to change it to make it a factor because it has to be set equal to 0. So don't forget that you have to change the signs to go from a x value to a factor. Okay, now, for something like this, match the polynomial with this constant. The constant is the term without a variable. So -2 times -3 times +7. -2 times -3 is +6 times 7 makes 42. So this one went together. 2 times 3 is -6, so B is -42. 2 times 3 times 7 is 42, but 1/2 of 42 makes 21. So our next one is 21. 5 times 42 is a positive number, so that's going to be 210. And then -5 times a positive number makes -210. Oops, I did that in the same color. I'm sorry. That was done in the same color. Here we go. Let's erase that. Let's erase that. Let's put that in orange. Put that in orange. And there you go. Those are your answers. Okay. X minus 2, x minus 4 equal to 8. It's not equal to 0, so we can't set it equal to 8. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to distribute this because this is not in a proper form. So distribute, 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 distribute. We get x squared. If we add -2 plus -4 is -6. -2 times -4 is -8 equals 8. Subtract 8 from both sides. It's +8. I'm sorry, that's +8. Negative times negative is a positive. So x squared minus 6x equals 0. Factor out of 6, we get x, and then we get x minus 6. X equal to 0. X minus 6 equal to 0. We get x equals +6. Now, if I stick them both back in, 0 and 0, I get 0 minus 2, which is -2. 0 minus 4, which is -4. -2 times -4 is 8. That works. If I stick 6 back in, 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So both of these things work. These are the solutions. Okay, the graph of the polynomial is shown. Which is true about the end behavior? As x goes up to positive infinity, y goes to positive infinity. As x goes to negative infinity, y goes to negative infinity. So as x gets larger than positive, f gets larger than positive. B is the correct answer. Okay. The polynomial factor has x plus 4. So we're going to write this as linear factors. which means we must do several steps. We must divide it, and then we must sketch the graph. So the standard form gives us our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is -8. So y equals -8, okay? When x is 0, y equals -8. Now, we divide to get our horizontal factors. Plus 3x squared minus 6x minus 8. It says it has a factor. X plus 4 is a factor. We should get 0. We're going to do x squared. Change both signs. 3 minus 4 is -1. Times it by -x. -x times x is -x squared. -x times 4 is -4x. Change both signs. I get -2x minus 8. I multiply by -2. I get -2x minus 8. Change both signs. I get 0. Now, I get x squared minus x minus 2. What are the factors of 2? 2 and 1. Both signs are different. The negative goes with the bigger number. And my other factor is x plus 4. There we go. Okay, so now to sketch the graph, I switch the signs of my factors. So I get +2, -1, and -4. My horizontal intercept is my vertical intercept is -8. This is positive x cubed, which means it starts low, it comes up, and it does something like that. You can always graph it in a calculator and check.